You've seen his face before, maybe without even knowing his name. Peter Greene was one of those actors who didn't need the spotlight to command attention. The moment he appeared on screen, something shifted. His presence felt real, uncomfortable, and impossible to ignore. Yet despite appearing in some of the most iconic films of the 1990s, Peter Greene never received the level of recognition his talent seemed to deserve. And that raises an important question. How does an actor so memorable remain so underrated? Peter Greene was never designed for Hollywood's traditional definition of stardom. He wasn't the charming leading man or the safe, polished hero audiences were taught to root for. Instead, he brought something raw and unpredictable. There was a tension in his performances that made scenes feel dangerous, even when nothing was being said. He didn't rely on big speeches or dramatic gestures. Often, a look, a pause, or the way he occupied space was enough to hold the screen and shift the energy of an entire scene. In The Mask, he played Dorian Tyrell, a villain who felt genuinely threatening without exaggeration. His menace came from control, confidence, and restraint. In Pulp Fiction, he portrayed Zed, a character whose limited screen time still managed to leave one of the most disturbing impressions in the entire film. These performances didn't aim to please. They aimed to feel real, and that's exactly why they stayed with audiences long after the credits rolled. What truly set Peter Greene apart was his commitment to authenticity. He didn't act characters, he inhabited them. Every movement felt intentional, every silence meaningful. There was no separation between the actor and the role. Directors recognized this, fellow actors respected it, but Hollywood, as a system, often struggles with artists who don't fit neatly into familiar boxes or easy narratives. Greene wasn't easy to market. He was intense, complex, and sometimes unsettling. In an industry that often prioritizes image, predictability, and mass appeal, those qualities can quietly work against you, even when the talent is undeniable. Throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, Peter Greene continued to work steadily. He appeared in films like The Usual Suspects, Blue Streak, and Training Day, consistently delivering grounded and believable performances. He showed range, discipline, and a deep understanding of character. Yet there was never a major breakthrough into mainstream stardom, no franchise built around him, no carefully managed celebrity persona. Just the work itself and the quiet respect of those who truly paid attention. Behind the scenes, personal struggles began to influence his trajectory. Hollywood rarely waits, and it rarely adapts to complexity. As trends shifted and new faces emerged, opportunities became fewer. Slowly, Peter Greene faded from the center of attention, not because his talent disappeared, but because the industry moved on to simpler stories and safer choices. Being underrated doesn't mean being forgotten. It means your contribution mattered more than your recognition. Peter Greene was the kind of actor who elevated scenes without demanding credit. He brought realism to roles that could have easily become caricatures. His performances added weight, tension, and authenticity to the films he was part of. And for many viewers, that impact lingered quietly, sometimes without even realizing why certain scenes felt so powerful. On December 12, 2025, Peter Greene was found dead at the age of 60 in his New York apartment. The cause of death has not been publicly disclosed, and there has been no indication of foul play. With his passing, many people began revisiting his work, rewatching old films, and rediscovering just how powerful his presence truly was. Peter Greene wasn't underrated because he lacked ability. He was underrated because he was different, because his art didn't chase fame, trends, or approval, and because sometimes the most meaningful contributions are the ones that don't ask to be celebrated. If you appreciate stories about actors who left a real mark without becoming household names, subscribe to the channel.